Hello and welcome. Could you please put a plus in the chat box if you can hear me well? Okay, thank you. So today we've got a vocabulary class and we're going to talk about advertising and vocabulary related to this. So before we start the lesson itself, let's have a look at the vocabulary. Let's familiarize ourselves with the lexical items. So first of all, billboard. Well, I believe that's clear, right? Then branding. This is the process of creating a brand. Distributor, it's a person who distributes some kind of goods. Okay. Flyer, this is what can be given out. Or you can also put it somewhere on a wall, also with some advertising information. Then gimmick, this is some kind of trick that you use in advertising. A synonym for this would be ploy. Okay. So gimmick and ploy, these are two words related to advertising. They're quite high band lexical items. Then jingle, this is a kind of tune or maybe some words that rhyme or that you sing, and they're part of a commercial or some piece of advertising. Manufacturer, it's a person who produces something. Marketing, this is the process of presenting your goods or services to the market. Online retailer, it's a person who, or not a maybe organization that sells something online. Rebate, that's a clever word for a discount. It can also be tax rebate. This is when you will get some of your tax, some of the money that you paid as tax, you get it back, or you get a so-called discount for paying tax. Sales representative, or in spoken English, you can call this a sales rep. Right, so this is a person who sells something and he's a representative of some kind of company that sells something. Slogan, this is like a motto or some kind of phrase that can be easily memorized. It's also part of marketing campaign. Telemarketing, this is when they sell something. Well, maybe by calling you to your by dialing your phone number and offering you something. Vendor, that's a person who sells something. Maybe you have heard this expression, vending machines. This is where you can insert a coin and you can get a cup of coffee or a bar of Snickers, a bar of chocolate, or something like that. Then catchy, this can be catchy headings. So catchy headings, so they catch your attention. Then compelling, that can be something like irresistible or attractive or exciting. That means compelling. Distracting, something that distracts your attention. Disturbing, well, for example, calls from telemarketing, they can be disturbing. Infuriating, if you know the word furious, it means something is furious means very angry. So infuriating, this is something that makes you very angry. Then invasive, it's also kind of, persistent, so to say. Then irritating, it's something makes you annoyed, something makes you angry, something irritates you, like the constant noise when your neighbors are doing the DIY, they're drilling something or using a hammer. So it's usually this kind of sound is irritating. Monetary, something connected with money, monetary reasons, financial reasons. Persuasive, that's something that is trying to convince or to persuade you. So advertising has to be persuasive, right? Because they want you to buy the product or to use the service. Promotional, it comes from the word promote, it's quite clear. Repetitive, so something repeats over and over again. Slick, slick can either mean slippery or, talking about advertising, it will mostly mean sly or cunning. Ubiquitous, well, this is what I call an IELTS word. So this means a concept that you can use quite often, but the word itself is an uncommon lexical item. Ubiquitous means widespread, everywhere. So, for example, well, mobile phones are ubiquitous, right? Or CCTV cameras, security cameras are ubiquitous in modern cities. Unavoidable or inevitable, there's also a clever word for this, something you cannot avoid. So, all right, and a few more. To assure, so to help somebody be sure about something and just say, well, this is okay, buy our product. Cultivate, it comes from agriculture, but you can cultivate something else. So it can, this word can be used figuratively. Then entice, there's also quite a clever word. It means to tempt someone, to attract someone. To induce, it's like to provoke or to make somebody do something. To oblige, it's also to make somebody do something. Pressurize, it comes from the word pressure. It's also when you want to influence a person. Reassure, this to assure. Again, to tempt, it's very similar to entice. Right, this word has a very similar meaning to the verb to entice, and to urge. This is also to make somebody want to do something. So, and two expressions that might also be useful when you talk about advertising. They are also from advanced level. It's an impulsive purchase, that when you see something and you buy something immediately. So that's an impulsive purchase. And hard sell advertising. That's also that's also a collocation. So when the advertiser is really persistent, and the advertiser is trying to make you buy something, so he's forcing this good on you, right? So these are the words, and let's start practicing those words. First of all, you can see some different kinds of advertising in the illustrations. So which of those illustrations from the box are shown there? So there are 3 photos. Please write which ones are depicted there. So sponsorship, commercials, pop-up ads, brochures, billboards, banner ads, telemarketing, jingles, or flyers. Okay, so please write in the chat box the 3 types of advertising that you can see in these 3 photos. Okay, so right. Number 1, that's flyers. So flyers, you don't always just distribute them. You don't only hand them out, but you can also put them somewhere on the wall. So number 1, that's flyers. Then number 2, obviously, yes, that's billboards. And the last one, that's telemarketing. So they're calling you and trying to sell something. So as for others, so sponsorship, commercials, well, sponsorship, you can find this, you can see this at sport events, right? Commercials and jingles, you see them on TV and radio, and banner ads and pop-up ads, you can find them on the internet. And as for brochures, they're easily available in shops. So there is also an error warning. That's a typical mistake that some candidates make. It says that advertising describes the business of persuading people to buy things. Advertisement, or in American English you pronounce it advertisement. Advertisement and the abbreviations advert and ad are used to refer to printed, audio, or film products that are used to sell something. E.g., I saw a funny advertisement on TV. So you cannot use advertising. And as for commercial, it is only used for ads on radio or on TV. All right, so now we're going to listen to 2 people discussing the advertising. Please write speaker 1 and speaker 2 and tell me which type of advertising do they mention. So that's speaker 1 and speaker 2.
Track 12. Speaker 1.
I really don't like it when I'm online and visit a new website and suddenly I'm bombarded with adverts for products I don't want or need. I find those ads really get in the way of my work. Don't they realise how annoying it is? Especially when you see the same image over and over again. I know my young son often gets sidetracked when these images suddenly appear and entice him to click here to win $1 million.
Speaker 2.
What I find most annoying is when I'm getting dinner ready, the phone invariably rings and it's someone trying to sell me something. How or why they persist in ringing at that time, I just don't know. It infuriates me. And I can't believe they ever managed to sell anything that way.
Okay, so what type of advertising is speaker one talking about? Please type your answer in the chat box. So speaker one, or just number one, and write the types of adverts, and then speaker two, and also types of adverts. So write speaker one, that's pop-up ads and banner ads. Okay, and speaker two, that's telemarketing. Yes, correct. So now we're going to listen again. Each of the speakers uses 3 adjectives from the right. So please write the adjectives that the speaker uses to talk about, well, first about pop-up ads and banner ads, and speaker 2 about telemarketing. So each of them uses 3 adjectives. Please write number 1 and 3 adjectives from the first piece of listening, and 3 adjectives from the second piece. Okay, so let's listen again.
Track 12. Speaker 1.
I really don't like it when I'm online and visit a new website and suddenly I'm bombarded with adverts for products I don't want or need. I find those ads really get in the way of my work. Don't they realise how annoying it is? Especially when you see the same image over and over again. I know my young son often gets sidetracked when these images suddenly appear and entice him to click here to win $1 million.
Speaker 2.
What I find most annoying is when I'm getting dinner ready, the phone invariably rings and it's someone trying to sell me something. How or why they persist in ringing at that time, I just don't know. It infuriates me, and I can't believe they ever managed to sell anything that way.
Okay, so please type the 3 adjectives for speaker 1 and 3 adjectives for speaker 2. Okay, so speaker 1, that's irritating, right? Distracting and repetitive, okay? And what about speaker 2? Okay, yes, speaker 2, that's invasive, infuriating, and irritating. Okay, that's right. So let's listen to a third speaker. He describes 4 types of advertising. So 4 types of these advertising. What are these 4 types? So please listen to the next recording and type in the chat box 4 other types of advertising that you can hear.
Track 13.
Yeah, look, it's everywhere, isn't it? There's a street I walk down every day, and the walls are plastered with flyers for new bands and events. They don't remove the old ones, they just put new ones up over the top. So I think people just tend to shut them out and ignore them. I think they're a bit ugly, really. But then sometimes you'll see an ad that helps you escape from where you are. I was stuck in traffic the other day. It was raining and I was feeling pretty down, but then I saw a huge ad for some island somewhere, and it looked amazing. At least while I was stuck there, I could sit and dream about a better place. And I think that's what ads are all about, aren't they? Selling us an idea of something better. Then on the radio, I heard this jingle for a new toothpaste, and it's one I've heard a lot, and I couldn't get the tune out of my head after that. And then, of course, there's the issue of sponsorship. I think a lot of sports teams and athletes wouldn't be able to survive now without advertising. And I really can't see the situation changing at all. I guess we just have to learn to live with it.
Okay. So what are these 4 types of advertising that the speaker has mentioned? All right, flyers, that's correct. Okay, billboards, right? Jingles, commercials, and sponsorships. Okay, jingles and sponsorship. Okay, that's right. So you can see some words here in the box. Let's put them into the correct category. You need to say whether they mean marketing tools, verbs, or people. Okay, so could you please type the marketing tools? So the words that mean marketing tools. Okay, so the marketing tools, that's jingle, ploy, gimmick, logo, branding, and slogan. Okay, that's right. Once again, so it's jingle, ploy, gimmick, logo, branding, and slogan. Now, could you please type the verbs? So first, there were marketing tools. We've done them. Now, please type the verbs. Okay, so the verbs, they're reassure, appeal, assure, okay, pressurize, convince, induce, right, oblige, urge, entice, seduce, twist, like twist your arm, and tempt. Okay, and the last thing, could you please type the people? So for the sake of memorizing these words, please type words that mean people. Okay, so the people, that's vendor, client, consumer, customer, distributor, sales representative, and manufacturer, right? So the next thing we're going to do, please choose the correct alternative to complete the sentences. It's enough just to write the number and the correct option. So it says customers can often feel, and then you say either pressured or reassured into buying a product they don't need. Number 2, many competitions are simply marketing, then branding or ploy to help boost sales. Number 3, you're more likely to remember a humorous advertisement or advertising than a boring one. Number 4, department stores often use smells and sounds to either to induce or to entice shoppers into their stores. Okay, number 5, the famous Nike, so it's either slogan or logo, was drawn by a design student who was only paid $35. Then number 6, retailers prefer their customers or clients to make impulsive purchases rather than planned ones. Okay, so please write the correct option, the number and the correct option. Okay, so number 1, customers can often feel pressurized, yes, pressurized into buying a product they don't need. So they feel the pressure from the vendor. So many competitions are simply marketing. So it's a marketing ploy. Ploy here means trick. A marketing ploy to help boost sales. So marketing ploy, it's a nice collocation that you can use either in your speaking or in your writing, if your topic is advertising. The number 3, you're more likely to remember a humorous, is it advertisement or advertising than a boring one. So number 3, since this is a particular one, so it should be advertisement, not the process of advertising, but a humorous advertisement, right? Then number 4, department stores often use smells and sounds to, number 4 will be to entice shoppers into their stores, so like to tempt them, to attract them, right? Then number 5, the famous Nike, it was drawn, so it was logo. A Nike logo was drawn by a design student who was only paid $35. Then number 6, retailers prefer their, so here the best option would be customers to make impulsive purchases rather than planned ones. When you're talking about retailers, the word customer is more suitable. Okay, well done, great. So now please read the passage below. Well, now if you haven't opened your own file now, so now is the it's a very nice idea to do so. So the file is here in the chat box, the link, or under the video, under the screen. So under the presentation, you can download the PDF file and scroll it up and down at your own convenient pace. So please read the passage below and decide which sections A through D the following ideas are from. So there are 4 paragraphs, and please say which ideas are from which passage. Okay, so the ideas are techniques to encourage online shoppers to stay loyal, different concerns online shoppers may have, negative impact on the internet or businesses, responding when customers are not positive. Okay, so you have 5 minutes now. Please match these ideas to the paragraphs. Okay, so number one, technologies to encourage online shoppers to stay loyal. That would be, so please write the number. In the chat box and the letter. Okay, so yes, number one, that's C, paragraph C. Then different concerns online shoppers may have. So which one would that be? Yes, so this is also C. It can be about trustworthiness, right? And the personal and credit card information is secure. So it's also in number C. Then number three. Negative impact on the internet on business. Number three. That's D, right? With social networking, it's very easy for one dissatisfied customer to post on his or her blog that a company messed up, right? And number four, responding when customers are not positive. Okay, this will be B. Promotional events designed to counter customers' negative attitudes can significantly enhance the customer's likelihood of engaging in a long-term relationship with the business. Okay, so once again, it's 1C, 2C, 3D, and 4B. Okay, so I hope you got it right. Okay, so now please read the passage again and find the following words. So a word used in farming and in business. Paragraph A, I actually mentioned this, that it comes from agriculture. I mentioned it in the beginning of the class. Then a method of selling that is very persuasive, that's paragraph B. Amounts of money that are returned to you, that's paragraph B also. The adverb form of money. Paragraph B, and activities intended to advertise something, paragraph B, and a term used for shops on the internet. Okay, so please find these words in the text. So please use your own file for this and type the answer in the chat box as you're ready. All right, so number one, A word used in farming and in business. What is the word? That's to cultivate, okay? Then number 2, a word from paragraph B, a method of selling that is very persuasive. There are 3 words and also an article before it. One word is a compound adjective. That's a hard sell approach, right? Number 3, amounts of money that are returned to you. It's also from paragraph B. So this can be some money that you get back when you pay tax that I also mentioned. It can also mean a discount, or it can mean money back, for example, for when after you pay tax. Number 3, that's rebates, okay. Number 4, the adverb form of money, that's paragraph B. All right, monetarily, that's correct. Then activities intended to advertise something. This is paragraph B. Okay, promotional events. Then number 6, a term used for shops on the internet, which is paragraph C. It's 2 words. Online retailers, okay? So once again, 1 is cultivate, 2, a hard sell approach, 3, that's rebates, 4, monetarily, 5, promotional events, and 6, online retailers. Okay, right. Now, there is an error warning. The word stuff is informal and should be avoided in the IELTS exam. Try to use a more precise word such as goods, products, or items, right? So it is too informal. And the following terms in bold are useful substitutes for the word things: luxury goods, handmade products, articles of clothing, personal possessions, and essential items. So in exercise 4, try to replace the word things, try to replace these underlined words with words like goods, products, clothing, or articles of clothing, possessions, or items. Okay, so number 1, please write your option, how you can replace that. It's amazing how many things are left on buses. We often find hats and scarves and even coats. Okay, number 2, the shop specializes in things that only the very rich can afford. Then number 3, as a student, I had barely any money, just enough for a few things I really needed. Then 4, at the hospital, they made a list of my things and put them in a bag. And then number 5, the craft market sold many beautiful things which weren't manufactured. Okay, so please write your answer in the chat box for number 1. Okay, number 1, articles of clothing, right? It's amazing how many articles of clothing are left on buses. We often find hats and scarves and even coats. Okay, so number 2, luxury goods. The shop specializes in luxury goods, right? Things that only the very rich can afford. Okay. Okay, number 3, essential items. Good. So as a student, I had barely any money, just enough for a few essential items, things I really needed, essential items. Okay, number 4. Personal possessions. At the hospital, they made a list of my personal possessions and put them in a bag. All right. Then number 5. Okay, handmade products. The craft market sold many beautiful handmade products, things which weren't manufactured. So 1, it's articles of clothing, 2, luxury goods, 3, essential items, 4, personal possessions, and 5, handmade products. Okay, so exercise 5, gap completion. So please complete the text below with suitable words from the box. Use each word once only. So there may be more than one possible answer, and you do not need to use every word in the box. Okay, but you need to use a word once only. Okay, so we live in some kind of society where even the very young are conscious of famous something such as Lego and McDonald's. Because of this, I think it's important to teach children to be wary of something they see on TV. There are many companies, companies that target young children through the something they sell in order to increase their something. These something in plural bombard young children with colorful and entertaining TV ads. The number 7 campaigns aimed at children often feature their favorite cartoon characters. So preschoolers need to be taught that not everything they are watching is a TV show. They also need to learn that companies often do something. The features of toys and may make promises they cannot keep. Okay, so please complete the gaps with the words from the box. Okay, and then we'll check. Okay, so let's check. We live in a consumer society where even the very young are conscious of famous brands such as Lego and McDonald's. Because of this, I think it's important to teach children to be wary of, yeah, so you can say advertisements, so you can also say commercials. Both of the options fit here. So advertisement and commercials they see on TV. There are many companies that target young children through the products they sell in order to increase their sales. Okay, somebody bombard young children with colorful and entertaining TV ads. Number 6 is manufacturers. Okay, so 7, what kind of campaigns? Okay, advertising campaigns, or you can also say marketing campaigns. Advertising campaigns or marketing campaigns aimed at children often feature their favorite cartoon characters, so preschoolers need to be taught that not everything they're watching is a TV show. They also need to learn that companies often, what do they do? Yes, exaggerate the features of toys and may make promises they cannot keep. Okay, so, and finally, our favorite, reading, test practice. That's a big test. That's a big text. You need to open it on your own. You need to open your own file to do this. So first, we do questions from 1 to 4, and you need to choose the correct letter A, B, C, or D. Okay, so what is the purpose of the first paragraph? You have 4 options. In the first paragraph, what point does the writer make about advertisements on the internet? 3, according to the second paragraph, it is difficult to do something. What connection does the writer make between major online retailers and telemarketing? Okay, so basically, yes, basically these are the 4 questions. I will give you 5 minutes for that. Okay, so please write your answers in the chat box. Number 1, what is the purpose of the first paragraph? So the purpose of the first paragraph, that's to state that advertisements can teach us a certain amount about the past. Okay, so number 1, that's A. Then number 2, in the first paragraph, what point does the writer make about advertisements on the internet? This is also A, number 2A. The internet helps people who are studying historical advertisements. Then number 3, that's according to the second paragraph, it is difficult too. The answer is B, put advertisements into one neat category. And number 4, what connection does the writer make between major online retailers and telemarketing? Number 4, that's C, both show that advertising can be as annoying as salesmanship. Okay, right. So now we're going to do numbers from 5 to 13. And I'm going to give you 10 minutes for that. So this is a note completion. Please complete the notes. So you can refer back to the text, and we'll check that in 10 minutes. Please try to do this and type your answers in the chat box. All right, so let's check. Number 5. The word is headlines. Okay, and number 6, that's illustrations, right? So it said Pennsylvania Gazette reached out to readers with new devices like headlines and illustrations. So number 5 is headlines, number 6 that's illustrations. Then number 7, early mid-19th century, advertisements still basic. Adverts in magazines generally appeared on the. So it says that in the text it said the magazines' ad styles were also restrained, with most publications relegating advertisements to the back pages, right? So the answer here will be back pages. Then number 8, late 19th century, only advertisements for were bold and eye-catching. So it says that in the text it says the magazine ad styles were also restrained. So patent medicine ads proved the main exception to this pattern. Okay, so it's the answer here could be medicine, or if you want, patent medicine. Either patent medicine or medicine, both of them would be correct. Number 9, modern something meant more products could be made. So it says that in the text it says in the 1880s, several industries adopted new production techniques that created standardized products in unheard of quantities. So new or modern production techniques. So the answer here is production techniques. Number 10, the first time some kind of products were advertised all around the country. So in the text it says, national advertising of branded goods emerged in this period. So national advertising of branded goods. So products, they're branded products. The answer here is branded. Number 11, businesses such as, some kind of example, began to advertise. So in the text it says large department stores, then it's also pioneered new advertising styles. So large department stores, right? So you can only write 2 words, so it's department stores. Number 11, that's department stores. Then number 12, customers living in remote areas could order products from. So it says, for rural markets, the Sears, Roebuck, and Montgomery Ward mail order catalogs offered everything from buttons to kits. So mail order catalogs, that's the answer. But if you just write catalogs, that's also correct. And and the last one, 13, something was easier to obtain to spending increased. So spending increased. So consumer spending was fueled, so it increased. It's this from the text, in part by the increased availability of consumer credit. So the answer here is either consumer credit or just credit. Okay, so we've done a great job. Let's call it a day and have a rest. Thank you all for participation, and see you next time.